Click the link in the description for your free AMSOIL catalog. It's time for a quick shout out to some of our friends. B&B Auto Sales, your muscle car connection in Brookings, South Dakota. Above the Notch Car Club, a car club for auto enthusiasts in northern New Hampshire. The New Hampshire Muscle Car Club, the largest muscle car club in all of New England. MGM Classic Cars in Addison, Illinois. Visit mgmclassiccars.com today. Beach Hill Automotive in Bethlehem, New Hampshire, specializing in the repair, service, and towing of muscle cars and classic cars. Absolute Auto Body and Collision Repair in St. Johnsbury, Vermont. And lastly, I am your independent AMSOIL dealer. Click the link in the description for your free AMSOIL catalog. And last but not least, if you decide to advertise with the Muscle Car Podcast, this could be part of your advertising message. Good evening and welcome to the podcast. I'm really glad you're here tonight. We have a robust lineup of muscle car entertainment on tap for you tonight. But before we get into all of that, I want to make sure that everything is working properly. So if you can see my face and hear my voice, I'm going to ask you to leave a comment. Let me know where you're viewing this from. If you have a muscle car, let me know maybe what that muscle car is. Or if you don't have a muscle car, let me know what your favorite muscle car is. I'm going to check the comments here, and then we're going to bring our live guests on. Let's see. BCJ Vids says hello. Hello back to you. Also, my dear friend Don Farnsworth, also a regular viewer, says hello. Great to see you, Don. Looking forward to catching up with you this weekend. Let me switch screens here, bring on our live guests. We've got Rob Hilditch. How you doing, Rob?
I'm doing good today, Mike. Yourself?
Good. Really nice to see you. Well, cool. Have you had a good week since I saw you last?
Been quite busy.
Any car shows or anything?
No. This weekend I got a big race at Mossport Racetrack.
Cool. Want to do a shameless plug on that?
I'm not really what the event is. It's Formula One Grand Prix Vintage. Yeah, because a lot of the events
Grand Prix Vintage.
They're just trying to put stuff together because a lot of Americans aren't coming up to Canada yet for the races, so they're trying to put things together at the last minute.
Trying to attract the Americans.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Now we've got another guest who's going to be coming on here shortly. I think he's having a little trouble with his camera, but once he's got that straightened out, we're going to bring him on. His name is Chris Crandall. And as everyone knows, Rob and I do AMSOIL together. I'm signed up under AMSOIL. We're the podcast team. And we've got Chris Crandall who's signed up under me. So the three of us are the podcast team, and we're going to be talking with him. He's going to be showing us some of his muscle cars, and we're also going to be talking up his AMSOIL business. And if someone is thinking about joining the podcast team, there is a lot that we can do to help you with that. Rob has been doing AMSOIL for over 40 years. He knows all of the different business models as well as all of the product lines, and he can coach you on the products as well as the different ways to do the AMSOIL business. And the reason I asked him the question at the beginning as far as going to car shows is one of the main ways that Rob makes money doing AMSOIL is going to car shows, boat shows, snowmobile shows, and he's really got that down. So if you're like the two of us, you like going to car shows, boat shows, snowmobile shows, Rob can coach you on how to turn that into an income opportunity. As far as myself, I do a lot with social media, so I can coach you on how to use social media to do AMSOIL as a business. And I've got places where you can post and share existing. So, I mean, I encourage you to create your own Facebook pages and groups and things like that. But I've got places you can post right away to get the ball rolling. So you don't have to constantly hit up your friends and family with AMSOIL. Anything you want to add to that, Rob, before we get started?
The way I like doing my business is one-on-one. That's why I like doing shows.
Sure.
Doesn't matter if it's an automotive flea market or it's a race event or a cruise night. I like being one-on-one and talk to people. I'm not that great on computers, and a lot of people are very good on computers. So they like to promote their business by using the computer and offering the product to people that way. but I like the one-on-one contact.
Sure. And that's the nice thing too. When you sign up under me, you get Rob and I. So if you've got one way or another that you prefer to do it, or if you'd like to do both, you have both of us here to coach you and get you moving in your AMSOIL business. And we do have another comment that's come in. Ms. Formula 71 says hello to everyone. Well, hello back to you, and thank you for saying hi tonight. Cool deal. Well, it looks like it's taking a minute for Chris to get his camera straightened out, but let's move on with the program, and we'll catch up with him as soon as he's got that straightened out. This is the lineup of entertainment we have tonight. Item number one is some footage that was sent to me by my good friend Nicholas Caianiello. He's got a 1978 Cadillac Eldorado Biarritz, and let me pull that up. Here it is. Let's take a look.
Video. Hello, Mike. Here it is, a 1978 Cadillac Eldorado Biarritz. I told you when I got a chance I was going to shoot the video on this car. This car is a California car. It's extremely clean. I purchased a car with 12,878 miles on it. It has, from the original owner, it has the sunroof. The interior is like brand new. It's incredible. The seats work. Everything in this car works. The windows, power door locks, power seats. The front seats are amazing, like new. There's no cracks or rips or tears in it. The back seat is the same. The interior lights all work. The dashboard isn't cracked in any shape or form. It's all together. Air conditioning works. The radio works. I only have 13,474 miles on it, so I didn't even put 1,000 miles yet on it. I almost have the car about a year now. I enjoy taking this car out and driving it. I get a lot of thumbs up from people that appreciate these cars from back in '78. So it's a blast to drive. It takes me down memory lane, and you know that's what it's all about. Reliving a childhood. I was 16 years old when this car came off the assembly line in Detroit, so I was a young pup back then. So I will show you the inside of the trunk in a minute. I just want to go around the back of the car and show you how clean that this car is. The rugs are in good condition, all of it. Those are original hubcaps. Car is really incredible. So I was looking for a 79 Mark. I like the last years of production. Is what I usually go after. So when this one came up, even though I was looking for a Mark 5, I was actually looking for an Emilio Pucci. But when this car came up, I just jumped on it. I don't think it was even online for 2 days. I got it immediately, and I just went crazy for it, you know, because it's just that clean. And I like the white. I like the white with the red dash and the red rugs. Reminds me of a car I had back then, 1978 Mercury Cougar XR7, which was no Cadillac at the time. Let me open up the trunk for you while we're talking. Pop the electric trunk open. So I couldn't afford that car back then, and there goes the electric trunk. So nor a Mark for that matter. So I wind up selling for a 78 Cougar XR7, and it was the same exact color combinations. Let me take the cover off. There's the original Cadillac mats. It's amazing how the inside of the trunk is like brand new. The only thing missing on here is the markings, I think, from the factory, if you ask me. That's how clean it is. Really, really nice condition, this car. It's incredible. 44 years old. It's mind-blowing. The spare tire, space saver spare tire, I should say, all intact. The jack is in there. Just a really, really clean car. This is a land yacht, what they call a land yacht now these days. So I'll show you under the hood in a second. I got a little glare here from the sunlight. So since it's such a nice day here in New York, I decided to pull this car out and take it for a ride. So I enjoy every minute of it, driving it. I get a lot of thumbs up while I'm driving it. Let me open up the hood for you guys to see. So I know you do mostly muscle cars, Mike, and that's great. Hang on one second. Muscle cars are great, and this is the only thing that has in common with a muscle car. It's got a 7-liter motor in here, 425, so it's all engine, but it's a heavy car, and the engine compartment is very clean. As you can see, it's all original under here too. Nothing's been touched. So this guy really took good care of this car. Even the horns work, the original horns, Cadillac horns. All right, everybody, I hope you guys enjoyed this car, the video of this car, and as much as I enjoyed taking it for you. And Mike, we'll talk soon, all right? Okay, take care, Mike. Bye.
Cool. So yeah, thanks so much to Nick for making that video. What do you think, Rob? Anything jump out at you with that car?
Where did they find a car with such low miles on?
Yeah.
That's very rare.
Yeah, for sure. It really takes you back to then. Go ahead.
I can remember being camping one time, and it started to rain, and the guy I was with, his father had a car like that. So the girls got the back seat, and me and him got the trunk. The trunk was big enough we were able to sleep in it.
Nice.
That's a great shaped car.
Yeah, for sure. It really takes you back to 78 too, looking at that, doesn't it?
Yes.
It's like a time warp.
That's a big motor in that thing.
Yeah, for sure. Now I was curious about the name Biarritz. I was wondering what that meant. So I did a quick Google search. Pardon me, and this is what I found. So in the late 50s, Cadillac began using the nameplates El Dorado Seville. Now Seville is after the city in southern Spain, and El Dorado Biarritz. Biarritz is after the luxury seaside resort in southern France. And this was to distinguish between the hardtop and the convertible models back in the late 50s and early 60s. So the Sevilles were the hardtop and the Biarritz were the soft top. And I did not know that, and I was really glad that I looked that up.
Yeah, that's news.
It is. And I think by the late 70s, of course, this is a hardtop Biarritz. So I think by the 70s, they'd stop using that to talk about the soft top. But I guess they kept the name alive. I'm not sure what was going on with that. But I think at that time, they did have convertibles, though, didn't they, of the El Dorado in the late 70s? I think I remember seeing
I'm not
those.
sure on that.
Because I'm thinking of, do you remember the show Dukes of Hazzard with Boss Hogg? That was an El Dorado, I think, wasn't it, with the big horns in the front?
Oh, was it? Yeah, I think it could have been.
Yeah. So maybe that was custom for the show. Who knows? But that's what I think of. But who knows what GM was doing? But cool to see nonetheless. So let's see what else we've got here on the agenda for tonight. We have some announcements. I'm going to go through them real quick. Our friends in Texas doing the Texas Heat Wave at the Travis County Expo Center, July 22nd through the 24th. This is in Austin, Texas. If you're in Texas, it's an amazing show. Be sure and check it out. Also, our good friends in Billerica, Massachusetts, the Road Rebels Car Club. They do a car show every Tuesday evening from 5 to 8 p.m. from May through September. Be sure and check it out. It's at the Elks Club in Billerica. And, of course, the Corvettes of South Florida organization, every Wednesday, they do an event, Corvettes, Exotics, Muscle Cars, from 7:30 to 10:30 p.m. This is every Wednesday night. And this is in Miami, by the way. And I'm darting around because I had some more announcements, but I wanted to wait until Chris came on, but it looks like he's still having some trouble. I'm not sure what's going on with his camera. Yeah, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move on to number 3, and we'll circle back to the things we're going to do with Chris. So this is a 1978 Ford Bronco for sale by B&B Auto Sales out in South Dakota. Let's take a look at that Bronco.
Hi, this is Dirk from B&B Auto Sales, and today we're showing you our Ford Bronco. Really cool Bronco. Come out of Texas. Got a 4-inch lift on it. Been repainted. Got a really, as you can see there, a heck of a good shine to the paint. They did a nice job, nice and straight. I think, 35s or 37s, 35-inch Rancho suspension lift on it. Except really not too many flaws on the paint anywhere that I can see. It's just been restored. There's your tag. Seats are done. Got a rear door panel, custom rear door panels. Custom seats, been kind of a custom design. Got a custom roll bar, so if you want to take top off, you still feel safe. Dash's all good. If you do want that roll bar off, you can just bolt it in. It ain't welded in. So, JVC stereo. Was a cruise and air truck at one time. Door panels do got some, but kind of not perfect factory ones are better than them cheesy aftermarket they sell, and they're worth a darn. So, but they're really plasticky. So, rear spare carrier there, or bumper, like I said. Definitely a nice build. Said really not too many flaws. Underneath's been done. We've got a step there. Carpet's been new. These Broncos are getting to be, they're starting to catch up with the first generation, because there weren't very many of them, for one thing. They only made them 2 years, 78 and 79. So you're starting to see a lot of 66 through 77 Broncos where you don't see many of these. So really cool truck, really nice build. If you got any questions, give me a call, 605-695-7391.
Yeah, thanks to Dirk at B&B for that really cool footage. What'd you think of that, Rob?
Oh, I like Broncos. They're still popular vehicles, like for the stadium races and the Baja 500. Broncos are still popular vehicles out there.
Yeah, for sure. And I have good memories of that too. I remember 78 was the first year with that grill. That was a new grill that year. And it was so much better looking than the 77s, which was kind of like a T grill. And I remember being really impressed with that. Some friends of ours had one of those, and I remember being really impressed with it.
Yeah.
And we do have Chris. Let's bring Chris on. How you doing, Chris?
Not too bad. How are you guys tonight? Hello, Rob.
Hello, Chris. Good to meet you.
Pleased to meet you.
Cool deal. So we have the Amsoil podcast team in the house.
Where are you driving through, Chris?
Loading out of Oklahoma, just outside Tulsa, going to North Platte, Nebraska on this load, and then we'll be off a week. It's a go home load finally.
Nice. You're taking the week for the 4th off?
Yes. Yeah, I have a doctor's appointment from our resulting COVID issues and follow-up treatment from back in December. They canceled last month, so it's rescheduled coming up on the 11th. So I just told them, I'll go in and take the time off, send me home now, and I'll do a whole week at the house, do some things I need to catch up on, and go to the doctor after that, and then we can get back at it again.
Nice. Cool. Well, cool. Now, you've sent some images to us. We're going to look at those in just a second, but I also wanted to give a shout out to your YouTube channel, which is the Firebird. This is your graphic, correct?
That one isn't. No, that's a different one.
Not, okay, I'm sorry, because I found that on
right.
a Google search and I thought it was yours. But tell us about your YouTube channel. It's called the Firebird.
Yes, Firebird Nation. But which is the shorter part for the YouTube channel. We actually have it's an international club, but it's kind of dwindled because of the original founder sold everything out. But it's Firebird Nation Car Club, so it's FBNCC. Which usually, if you look at it that way, you can find either on Google. There's an internet website for it. But somehow I got shoehorned into the presidency chair of the club. So I thought, well,
Sure.
What better way to promote the club than to start a YouTube channel? And since basically the Firebird is probably my first passion in the muscle car realm. Started it it's small. We're less than 100 subscribers. I haven't had a whole lot. It's just kind of hard to do any time and content when you're trucking all the time.
Yeah.
And running a trucking company, but I've done some footage with our birds, because between me and the fiance, we have 5 ourselves, ranging from a 68 convertible all the way up to a 84, which is still pure stock.
Nice.
It even has the original, if anyone is familiar with the late 70s, early 80s, emissions error with the air smog pump and the pinch clamps that they put on the tubes to the exhaust manifolds. This car here still has the original pinch clamps and all the original smog equipment from the factory.
Awesome.
It's a 305HO, which is the high output and carbureted. The only reason they call it an HO is because it shares the same engine platform in regards like they used with the Corvette from the research I've used, They put the same cam they put in the Corvette into the 305 to call it 305 HL.
Gotcha. And this is an award that you won at a show, correct?
Yes. The first there on the trailer, I loaded the car, hauled it from Pennsylvania back to the house. This was loaded up Friday, the day that we left. 1,200-mile trip, pulled into the house in Nebraska in around 10 o'clock, I guess, Saturday night. And we backed the car in the garage, and it had some rust pits. I didn't send you that picture. I couldn't find it. Basically, for the clear coat and the paint, the early 80s, how the paint and the clear coat would peel. This had some rust spots on the hood, so I just took a brass wheel in an angle grinder, and I brushed, wire brushed the whole hood off, and then we shot it with the correct paint code paint and clear coat that she managed to find at our local Napa store. They will mix in an aerosol can, rattle can. Yeah. And my whole purpose was, okay, the car's home. It's going to sit for the winter. It's not going to be a winter driver. We have show cars, and I wanted one that, you park in a parking lot and someone loses a shopping cart and dings it, big deal. It's already got dents and scratches, but it's still Trans Am. And that's where this car came in. Well, so we did all the thing, went to a car show Sunday morning, which our local Pontiac club, the president there was tasked to do a car show for the high school band at the high school, one of the schools there. So we took the car over in her 71 Formula Firebird to the car show, and it won second place in class, which really surprised me. First car show out, within a month, and this was the award. They gave it like a little Olympic medal on a ribbon that you could wear instead of a trophy like most places, which was kind of a unique touch, I thought. So it'll probably be the only car show to go to. And I figure I'm one and done. If I go to a show, I win an award, I'm not going back because I don't want to ruin my record.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
And
any thoughts, Rob, on that car, Rob?
You had 5 of them?
Yeah, we have 5 altogether. She has a 68 convertible that is being done right now. It's in stages of being done. There is a picture I sent Mike of it before it was stripped down. Then she has her fully restored 71 Formula 400 4-speed. We have a 79 10th anniversary edition. That's her formula there. The 79 is a 1-year build only. It had every option the Pontiac offered in the car. And also, which that's an example one right there. It also served as the official pace car for the 1979 Daytona 500. My car didn't, but this model car did. So there are this same model car out there that has the NASCAR decals on the back, quarter fenders as well. Beautiful car in my opinion. I think it's the most beautiful one they made with the mirrored T-tops, and like I said, it's the only car they made that as you look at this, they did a hood bird extension on the wings that extends out into the top of the fenders. Yeah. And then the very tip of the wing, at the top of the wing where it meets the air pillar on the top of the fender, that narrowed down to a 3-color. They carried the 3-color scheme of the hood bird, and that became a pinstripe that ran along the top of the door that separated the silver paint and the charcoal colored paint, and then run up over the roof behind the T-tops.
Yeah.
So it was, it was a really, to me, a really impressive decal package the way they did it. And then they had the same hood bird design was embroidered in both door panels and the center of the rear seat, which unfortunately I don't have pictures of that per se that to put in. And then we have 1980 an original SE, the special edition. It's the same model car that was used in the Smokey and the Bandit 2 movie that originally came with a 301 turbo engine. And along the line somewhere, somebody yanked the 301 out for whatever reason and dropped a 455 under the hood. Win-win. And everybody, I've had people scream. It's set at a major U.S. highway at a car lot in Pennsylvania that the guy only deals with older, like 40s, 30s, 40s on up to probably mid 70s muscle car era or older vehicles. And this sat right on the highway for a year in his lot, and nobody wanted it because it wasn't the original engine. And I had to scratch my head. You know, it's a running functional car with a 455. Granted, it's a Buick 455. It's not a Pontiac, but in '79 they put Oldsmobile 403s in, and come '80 they were dropping Chevy engines. So you know, that kind of Pontiac purist thought was out the window at that point. And you know, anybody that followed that era time knows that the muscle car was on its way out, as most of us knew them. You know, due to the emissions and insurance regulations of the time that just choked them down to they were muscle car and looks, but under the hood was a little lacking squirrels.
Yeah. Sure. And we'll be taking a closer look at some of those cars later in the program. I do want to keep the program moving, but we do have some comments coming in. A regular viewer, Stacy and Art Fosler, say hello from Platkill, New York. Nice to see you. Also, I want to thank Art Fosler. He sent me some video of a truck he's got. We're going to be looking at in a future episode. So I wanted to thank Art for sending me that. I'm going to keep you in suspense as to what that is. Also, our friend David at Alaska Railroad says hello to Mike and the rest of the family. He's running a bit late tonight, but it's great to see you. And also a comment for you, a compliment, I should say, for you, Chris. David from Alaska Railroad says nice Pontiac. So the comment.
Which one, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
I mean, if you want to go Pontiac, I'd say we're probably a Pontiac rich or Pontiac loving family, because we have others on top of the 5 Firebirds we have currently.
Nice.
With, I mean, there's a Grand Am. She has one of the supercharged Grand Prix from the early 2000s, and then my one asphalt race car is actually it's a 2001 Grand Prix bodied asphalt race car, which you would be familiar with if you followed the asphalt racing up there in your area, Mike. Sure. That they used to run in that area as a pro stock.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and we'll be looking at those a little later in the program. But right now we're on item number 4. A couple of weeks ago, we watched some footage from the Memorial Day Car Show in Sacramento, California, sent to us by the Corvette channel, and I have part 2 of that right now. So let me cue that up. We're going to take a look at that. Then on the other side, we're going to make a few comments, and then we're going to look at some more of Chris's cars. So let me get that queued up. Here it is. Let's take a look.
Wow, no KR, nice. There we go. Linda, if you're watching, there you go. I think this one's kind of right up your alley. It's an SS right here. Take a look at that. Wow, that's nice. It's like it's got an LS motor in it. Yeah, very nice. Very nice. Very cool. Yeah, very nice. So this Trans Am I was talking to you guys about, the president of the Trans Am Club, he actually owns it, and he gave me his card. This is a beautiful car. It's an '84, it's original. This is an out-of-state California, it's registered in California now. It is not originally a California car. How you can tell that is that this car happens to have a stick shift, and the stick shifts were not allowed to be sold in California. So if you have one of these cars that has a stick shift in it, a lot of guys actually converted them over. But if it's a factory stick, then this was an out-of-state federal car, which you could bring into the state, but it was not allowed to be sold new in the state of California. And I happened to have one that looked just like this, and then I ended up turning the gold down at the bottom to black when that became a real popular thing to do. But it sure brings back a lot of memories, I'll tell you. So, thank you guys. And see here, there's just a lot of different walks of life here in these cars. Guys, I see you guys all tuning in. Thank you so much. It's awesome. I'm glad you guys are here. Thank you for tuning in and taking your time of your Memorial Day to tune in with me. I really appreciate it. Oh wow, look at this old Mercedes. I love these old cars. Those are just awesome. Look at that thing. And it's just beautiful too. Yeah, very nice. Very nice car. So, and for those of you, while I've got you guys here, those of you that have served, I just want to thank you. If you guys have relatives that have served, I want to thank you for your service. I want to thank you for the sacrifice that you guys have all given us for us to be able to do what I'm doing right this minute, is sitting here walking around, looking at cars, being able to walk wherever I want to be able to walk, and I have that freedom. So guys, thank you so much. I can't even begin to tell you that one. It's so easy to say the words, but you know, when you actually think about it, it's crazy on what you guys gave up to be able to take care of us, so we can have all the stuff that we got going on here. But look at these Corvettes, guys. It's just, I think this gentleman right here told me he's only got 7,000 miles on his car. He's trying to find a C8. So that thing's like brand spanking new. I think he's going to probably want to sell that car after he gets the C8. So, and then this C6 right over here looks like the one I actually wrecked a couple of years ago. Hydroplane went into a ditch. The car ended up not getting damaged. It actually went airborne, jumped over a 6-foot ditch, landed just before you get to the fence. But it was a water ditch that it was in, and the tow truck actually went ahead and pulled it through the water, which then ruined it. So the insurance company went ahead and totaled it. And when they did, I only had, like, right now I have 3 Corvettes, and I've always had at least 2. And when they totaled it that particular time, I only had 1 car. And they totaled it. It was my 50th birthday, and I only went 1 day officially without being an owner of a Corvette, and I can tell you what, guys, I was miserable. So my 50th birthday was a miserable day because for the first time, from the time I was 27 years old, I didn't own a Corvette. The very next day, I was able to actually find another one that looked exactly like it. The one I had wrecked was an 07, and the one I found that looked identical to it was an 08. And the insurance in the body shop, they let me pull the new car right up to the old car and transfer all of my custom parts over from one car to another, and I didn't have to rebuy all that stuff. It was amazing what get past these guys a little bit here, but it was amazing that I didn't have to go rebuy it all. You know, my wife and my daughter and my son and everyone, they had bought me parts. I didn't want to just let it all go with the old car, so they let me transfer everything over. An old Pontiac, don't see very many of those anymore, I can tell you that. So let's see if I can kind of scoot past here. Sorry guys if I'm skipping past any of them. I'm just trying to get so you guys can get majority of the view of them, because I'll be end up walking and I'll get back to these people's heads. So anyway, here we go. Here's some old vintage ones. Look at these. So I'm gonna guess 64s, somewhere in that ballpark. Let's see. Yeah, what is? Oh, this is the Wicked. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure here. Oh, it's a 67. Wow.
Are you back, Mike?
Yeah, it's funny. On my interface, it started rolling again from the beginning. I don't know what that was about, but yeah, thank you so much to the Corvette channel for that footage. What'd you think of that?
I never heard about that. I never heard of that about Firebird in California. No standards.
Yeah.
What was the reason for that?
That's a good question. Are you familiar with that, Chris? CARB?
California Air Resources Board. Their new emissions regulations that started, I believe, maybe 77, 78 model years. In 79, it was the same way. You couldn't, any car like the 10th anniversary. Automatic cars were built at the Van Nuys, California plant and were sold out there because of emissions. And Pontiac actually held over some of their 400 blocks and engines from the 77 model year to use later down the line to sell to other areas of the country, because they were basically phasing out, with insurance, emissions, everything. But that was why, thank you CARB and everything else that CARB has done over the years. In their emissions, no stick shifts were allowed because they put the 400 in front of the 4-speeds, and it wouldn't pass California emission laws at the time.
Wow.
And it was easier for the car companies to say, okay, screw you, California, you get automatics, no stick shifts.
Yeah.
And
wow.
Now I don't know if that was GM cars for sure. I don't know how many of the other auto manufacturers may have been under the same gun.
Sure.
In that regard, maybe somebody in the cast knows down, can comment. As for like your Mustangs and everything else, I'm not sure. But for many of the GM cars, that was the way it was, and it was easier for them just to put an automatic with a different engine and pass California emissions to sell that car out there.
Sure. Well, you were the right guy to have on the show tonight to have an answer for that. Very cool. And also behind the scenes, Chris sent me this logo. I had the wrong logo earlier, but this is the logo from his YouTube channel, and there is a link.
Actually, that's the club.
That's the club.
Yeah,
yep.
That's the actual club, Firebird Nation Car Club, and I can't even tell you for sure how long it's been around. A good 15 years or better, probably.
Nice. And
And
I have a link in the
do have
description to that YouTube channel, by the way. So if someone is curious about that, there's a way to get over there.
Yeah, I tried to put it in, and I had issues with YouTube. I've used it in a couple of videos, but they basically said it's a copyrighted type. Sure. Because of the hood bird. We used to have some merchandise that you were able to get, and we're having an issue with a merchandising company right now with the car club and getting stuff done because of the, well, that's a copyrighted bird.
Sure. So it gets tricky trying to use that.
Yeah, what do you do? You change the color, you change the design a little bit, but eventually it's not worth it. For what little bit you get from it, it's not worth the headache, because everybody does it. That's probably one of the most, next to the Mustang that they used on the cars, that's probably one of the most iconic emblems from the muscle car era. You look at it, it's like, oh wow, I know what that came from.
Yeah.
Without even being told.
Sure. So we're at the point now in the program where we're going to talk for a moment about AMSOIL. We did a little bit at the beginning while you were waiting to come on, but AMSOIL has a promotion every week. Did you want to talk this up, Rob?
Yeah, this is a new promotion. Anybody signs up as preferred or catalog customers, buy $75 worth of it from AMSOIL, they're going to send you this new pocket socket. I didn't know what they were at first. My daughter says that's what she has on the back of her phone to help her hold her phone better.
Nice. So with a $75 purchase to the preferred customers, that's what you're going to get. And this is the graphic for the preferred customer program.
Yeah, you save 25% on anything you buy. There's no minimums, no maximums. You don't have to buy a full case. You can get 3 bottles of this, 6 of that, 1 of that. $100 worth, you get free shipping. And it costs you $10 for a membership for 6 months. But if you, on your birthday, they give you a $5 coupon. If you buy so much, they give you another $5. And when it comes time to renew, you could get your membership renewed for free, but with the coupons.
For sure. Yeah, it's a massive value of that preferred customer program. And if someone is thinking about ordering some AMSOIL, order through Chris Crandall. We've got the podcast team on here tonight. Chris has signed up under me, and I've signed up under Rob. So if you sign up under Chris, we all benefit. And the commissions I make go toward offsetting the cost of doing this podcast. So if you enjoy these podcasts, it's a wonderful way to support it. Chris's information is right there on the screen. You can click the link in the description, or you can just visit amsoil.com. And when you're ordering, just use Chris Crandall's dealer number, which is there on the screen. And we all three of us will benefit from it. And we had talked earlier in the program about signing up for AMSOIL as far as the business opportunity. It's a wonderful opportunity. And if you sign up under me, Rob and I both bring a lot to the table as far as coaching you and getting you up to speed with your AMSOIL business. And we're going to have some more detail about that at the end of the program. But I just wanted to discuss that real quick. Now, we are on item number, before we actually go to item number 5, I do have to get some shout outs out of the way. And on the other side, we'll resume the program. Here are the shout outs. We'll catch you guys in about 1 minute. It's time for a quick shout out to some of our friends. B&B Auto Sales, your muscle car connection in Brookings, South Dakota. Above the Notch Car Club, a car club for auto enthusiasts in northern New Hampshire. The New Hampshire Muscle Car Club, the largest muscle car club in all of New England. MGM Classic Cars in Addison, Illinois. Visit mgmclassiccars.com today. Beach Hill Automotive in Bethlehem, New Hampshire, specializing in the repair, service, and towing of muscle cars and classic cars. Absolute Auto Body and Collision Repair in St. Johnsbury, Vermont. And lastly, I am your independent AMSOIL dealer. Click the link in the description for your free AMSOIL catalog. And last but not least, if you decide to advertise with the Muscle Car Podcast, this could be part of your advertising message. Cool. So we are back. And before we continue, we've got a comment that's come in from Ms. Formula 71. And she says, you're only required to change a logo by 10%. And that can help you to avoid copyright issues, but it's still a battle with some websites. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. It's a
That
delicate
that
area.
that would be my car chick.
Ah, nice. I had a
She
feeling there was a
is,
connection there.
yeah, she is. I mean, her knowledge as far as the Firebirds is makes me look like a rookie. I'll be straight up honest.
Sure,
And she
sure.
has the car club on the website has just this huge, extensive. I don't even know which information list. I mean, I'm not sure. It's like specs, parts numbers like heads, blocks. Anything to do with the Firebird. There's a rundown somehow, or like there's wiring diagrams and vacuum diagram, all that kind of stuff is in the website that's free for anybody to access through the car club. And
Nice.
they it's the stuff that she get, like I'll ask a question and she can just boom, give her, I call her Mrs. Giggles, because if she can't find it with a resource that she already has access to, she can find it through Google. And there's half the time I'll say she's a real asset to the trucking business, aside from being a certified public accountant. But just trying to find somewhere like an address or a building or just a general question. I mean, half the time before I get the question out, she's found the answer. Can
Wow.
have read my
A really
mind,
good
and it's,
detective.
yeah, it's just
Cool deal.
that.
And is
But
this
when it
her
comes to the
car?
cars, this is her car. Yes.
Yeah.
The story in this car is really ironic. Like I said, it's a 1971 Pontiac Formula 400 4-speed. Now her father used to work for, I believe it was Western Union, if I remember correctly. So they had his work van and they had a Mustang as a family car, so there's him, his wife, and her sister. Dad decided we need a new family vehicle. We have 4 drivers. We need another car. He bought this car when it was 6 years old and come home. This is the new family car.
Huh.
And I told her, if I'm ever lucky enough to meet your dad, I'm going to pray to him, you are a God. Anybody that go out and buy a car with 2 teenage daughters like this,
Yeah.
and but she eventually she bought the car, old enough, graduated, went to college, moved out of the house, and she eventually bought the car from him, and she had it in California for a while. And then the sun, California sun just beat the tar out of her where it was in a storage. And
Sure.
she now this picture is probably 2 years old at this point.
Yeah.
The restoration on this car at this point in this picture is already 10 years old.
Oh, no kidding. It still looks
And
great.
yeah, the guy that did this car, his paintwork is immaculate. This was another show she did. This I actually surprised her with, and I can't read the name, but this is a professional photographer in the Nebraska area, down in the right corner that assigned this.
Yes.
He went out. This was done in a park somewhere there in the area, and he went up to the road coming out of the park to the main road when everybody was leaving, and he took his pick of the best cars in the show as they were leaving, and then put them up on the website for the car show. And hers was one of the ones selected when she was leaving the show. I actually was able to contact him, and I had 2 11 by 14 pictures reprinted and framed that I figured I'd surprise. I'd hang them on the wall and see how long. Well, yeah, the minute she come in the house, she's like, how and where did you get that? Yeah, we can't put nothing over on her.
Nice.
That
made her day, huh?
It's, yeah, that car is beautiful. I'm afraid, I hate driving it. I'll be straight up. I'm either afraid she'll kill me if somebody run into it, or I'm going to kill them for running into it. So she'll throw the keys at me. I'm like, I'd really rather not, just in case something would happen. But
yeah.
She did good because they got the car restored. One of the first car shows they went was the Trans Am Nationals in Ohio, and there was a gentleman that come up. We'd like to take pictures of your car for a magazine type thing. Card, phone number, give us your number. Well, another guy called that night. Meet us at the showgrounds at 5:30 in the morning. Okay, seems kind of odd. A stranger you meet at 5:30 in the morning. Well, here the guy didn't explain, and I can't remember the guy's name at the time, but they showed up with the car. Her husband at the time The guy just took one walk around the car, said, yes, we are going to do pictures for your car, but you're not just getting pictures. You're going to get the cover photo feature spread in the magazine. It was the editor-in-chief of High Performance Pontiac.
Yeah.
So she got cover photo, table of contents photo, which normally doesn't happen, and then a full feature article write-up in the magazine. And it came out in the August 2010 issue.
Yeah. And the 5:30 a.m., was that to get the early morning sun when the sun is at a low angle?
The early morning sunlight, the best picture.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
And the guy that come up was just some of the work, and they said, "Oh, I'm sorry, didn't he tell you?" And he gave her the card. Yeah, I'm the editor-in-chief of High Performance Pontiac, and from what I understand, the car has been in probably 6 other muscle car publications.
Yeah.
Since then, where it's been at different car shows, and somebody, oh wow, hey, check this out, and snapped a picture. Next, her dad, hey, I picked up a copy of this magazine, and why didn't you tell me you were there? And they took pictures, and well, I don't know what you did. Well, your car's in the magazine, so
Wow.
it has placed no lower than 3rd place. Usually, it takes like best of show or top 1st place in its division at every car show it's went to. Yeah.
Nice.
And
Nice.
even now, 10, 11, 12, or whatever it is now, at years later, since the restoration was done, it's got its, because it's not a trailer queen, it's not a garage queen. She drives it to every show within an hour of the house.
Yeah.
And takes it out and drives it on a weekend just to go for a cruise. And it's still, now she takes immaculate care of it, but it's showing it, it's got a couple stone chips and scratches, from being used, but it still places, top 3 at every show it's ever went to. Normally it wins first.
Wonderful. Well, cool.
We
do have to move on to the next segment, but we're going to have some more on your cars. But we're at item number 5 right now. There's a gentleman, Cedrie Davis, that I met at a Florida car show last summer, and he sent me some footage here not too long ago. Let's take a look at that. You're going to see him and his wife each have Camaros, and we're going to see his Camaros. His is the one with the Thor theme. There's a lot of cartoon themes on these cars, and his wife's is the one with the Captain Marvel theme. So let's take a look at that.
Autism awareness. Iron Man. Look at the oh, that one's. Who's that? Who's that? That's Thor. That's Predator. That's your daddy? No. That one had a doggy inside. Oh, look, who's that? Oh, what's this one? Captain Marvel. Yes. Captain Marvel.
Who was that? Who was that?
I don't know what this one is. What is that?
Play, they gonna play. They walk.
Oh, it's so cool. Oh, cigarettes.
Oh, let me get my graphic off of there. Sorry, folks. I just have to get to the right place. Yeah, so thank you to Cedrie Davis for sending that footage. Yeah, it was the footage looked kind of disoriented because it. Everyone, I always talk about when you're taking footage, always hold your camera horizontal like this for a wide shot. Now, when someone has it vertical like a wide shot, vertical for a taller shot like that, it's difficult for me to work with in editing. But what I do is I get creative, and I put that little banner on the right because if I stretch it too far, it really looks funny. But it was cool footage, so I wanted to put it on there, even though some of them they weren't all muscle cars, but the muscle cars that were there were amazing. And I met him last summer. I got some really nice footage of a Camaro. He's got him and his wife, like I said, have his and hers Camaros with these animated themes. We'll look at that at another podcast. But any comments on that, either of you, on what we were looking at there?
A car show at nighttime. That was different.
Yeah, and a lot of them had the lit wheels and everything.
Some very amazing airbrushing in some of them paint jobs.
Yeah. I'm curious, that Joker one that said "ha ha ha" on the side and the green, it was all lit up in green. I wonder how they were able to do that. Is that luminescent paint or something, or any idea how they're doing that?
Either luminescent paint or they have maybe some kind of an LED panel or something that they've Frenched in somehow that they could turn on. It'd be interesting to find out if you could be able to talk to the guy that, how did you pull that off?
Yeah,
but,
that was impressive.
I mean, there are so many things they're doing these little LED strips now that, I mean, you can buy a strip of LEDs in whatever color you want, in 100 feet, and you just solder it together for your hot and your at the end for a hot in the ground, and put it on with double-sided sticky tape, mounting tape, and it's a rope basically that you can almost bend into any direction you want to do for a design or some of the thin wire that they use.
Nice.
I've seen
any thoughts,
really
Rob,
crazy...
on what you were looking at, or did you have any thoughts, Rob, on what we were looking at in that video? Or
there's some nice cars in there. Yeah, would have been nice if he held the camera better so you can see the car better, but yeah, for sure. And that wasn't his fault. I hadn't mentioned that to him at that point, but yeah, we're gonna get some more footage from him, and looking forward to seeing that. We also have a comment coming in from Stacy and Art Fosler. His neighbor had a 75 Trans Am that he'd had since high school. He should get him to do a video of the car. Yeah, absolutely, Art. If you can get a video of that car, we would love to see it, and I'm sure that Chris would love to see that as well, being a Firebird.
Oh, definitely. I usually, that's where a lot of, well, COVID really screwed us up, because we were doing car shows, and I would go to, anybody that had a bird, and to me it didn't matter the year. I figured anybody that had a bird, and I'd go around and collect phone numbers and the names. Like, I'm president of Firebird Nation Car Club. I have a YouTube channel. Would you like to do a video, feature, whatever you want to call it, on your car sometime? And then COVID hit and screwed everything up. So I lost a lot of the ability to be able to do that type of content. But anytime I see one, I leave a card and a contact open, hey, maybe it's sometime, and driving, I see, she yells at me. I'll be driving through the backwoods somewhere, and my head will snap. She says, "What?" Says, "There was a Firebird back there behind that barn." And she's like, "There's nowhere to park. Keep going. You can't buy none today."
Nice.
She tells me I find them falling out of the woodwork. I don't know why.
Sure. But yeah, in your travels, if you ever see Firebirds and you're parked somewhere and it's near you, by all means, either, take some images of it or a video, whatever you're able to get. And if the owner is there, if you're able to interview them or get them to talk it up, we would love to see that here on the podcast.
Yeah, I saw one here a few weeks ago. I got some pictures of, but I didn't know who owned it or where they were at. It was one of the GTA models, the late 80s GTA.
Sure.
That beautiful car. I see them everywhere. I cry driving the truck because there's times, for instance, this past week, I had a pallet that ended up being refused at a delivery because they said the shelf life was out. Well, in town that day, they put me on another load, so I had to haul butt. But it was to benefit another band, at the high school, and they were doing a car show at the school. That this is a Friday night going to Saturday. Oh, cool! Well, Yeah, and then I had the pallet that said donated. It's like, okay, well, I'll here we go, win-win. Car show, band. Here's a pallet of tea. Go sell it.
Yeah.
And then our dispatchers called back. Said, yeah, bring that trailer to the yard. We have another load here. We need you to cover. So I didn't even get to do the car show, but
oh no.
Most times I'll see a show, or I'll see them on the interstate traveling to a show. Like, you get to talk to a couple.
yeah.
They stop at a truck stop. So it's like, well, where you headed? Oh, we're going to show. Like, there's nowhere to park. Forget the truck. Yeah, and most times there's not enough time to take a couple hours to be able to attend one because of our delivery schedule. So at times it's frustrating, but other times it works out.
Yeah, do what you can.
Just to seeing them go by on the interstate's enough to, any of them. It doesn't matter.
Get your heart fluttering.
Yeah, get your heart fluttering. Sure. You start drooling like a little kid in a candy, the old 5 and dime, candy stores where you walk in, all they have was the big tubs and vats sitting on the counters. Like, fill your bag for 50 cents. I'm sure you guys are familiar with those.
Oh yeah.
So it's kind of like what it is. You see one coming by and it's like, whoa, where's the camera? Where's the phone? I got to get a picture of this.
Yeah.
And then, but then you're shaking trying to get a good picture because you're excited. Oh, wow, that's beautiful. That's
in a moving vehicle too.
Sure. Yeah, and then you're in the moving vehicle, and these things are, freight train on the interstate. They shake, rattle, and bounce.
Yeah, for sure. So we are on item number 6. We're going to take a look at some footage. Several weeks ago, we were looking at some footage from York, PA, the Good Guys Car Show. This is from the Along the Journey YouTube channel. We're going to look at part 2 of that, and I'm going to cue it up here. Just takes a moment. Let's take a look at that footage.
Check this baby out. One of my favorite colors. Right there. This thing is all original. From the motor to the paint, interior, absolutely beautiful. Check out this guy's setup. He's selling shirts, everything. A true classic, a 1968 Mustang convertible. In my opinion, this started everything. Alright, scratch that last one. Maybe it was this that started the whole muscle car craze. I'm not a car guy, but somebody comment, which one do you like better? Camaro or the Mustang? Alright, here's a silver, and when I say silver, add chrome in that. It's amazing. There are no keys to this car. You look inside, it's a 1964 Corvette. There's basically nothing in this thing. Alright, here's the original Camaro. Check that thing out. 1965 Chevy Malibu. Unbelievable. Just check out the paint on this car.
Be careful, you don't hit this car. It's hot.
See many of these on the road anymore. The old El Camino car with a truck bed. Of course, this one's completely decked out. This Starsky and Hutch car is right here. This place has every car you can even imagine. Alright, here we are. We're heading down to the burnout contest. See some of these cars in action. Stay tuned. Make sure you don't miss this. Here we are, the good guy burnout contest. Car number 2. When you hear that horn, tires will light up.
Here we go.
And if you could smell it here, you'd be going crazy.
Put out some smoke, brand new wheels. Yeah. Little Jake throwing some competition there. Pickup after pickup. What do they know? Come over. And yes, hot rods matter.
Yeah. So thank you to the Along for the Journey YouTube channel for that really cool footage. What did you guys think of that?
I like the color tires. That's impressive.
Yeah, how did they do that? Any idea how they're doing that?
Special tires they buy just for that.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
They'll burn out with
Needle Tire does a lot of those. Somehow they do a colored dye in the rubber when they manufacture the tire, so that when you burn it down like that, it'll blow colored smoke.
Interesting. That is a really cool effect.
Yeah, there's a YouTube channel I watch, Vice Grip Garage. He uses a lot of those a lot. He'll go to different events where he does a burnout with a car that he built and has the tires that did, colored. So, and to me, it's like, okay, white smoke. Yeah, it's kind of a thing of the past. These colored tires just it gives you that whole new element that and then that guy, with one on each side, all he needed was somehow if he could have had a double tire to do a red, white, and blue flag theme to have it roll out the way it would have been really, really neat. But
yeah.
Some people build a car just for burnout competitions.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I've watched Derek. He's done, I don't know how many now. He did like a pickup. He had a Corvette that he supercharged that actually caught on fire in the middle of the burnout competition.
Wow.
And then the latest one he done, they call Independent Chevelle. It's an old Chevelle that they done up. But the colored, I don't know, I'd have to say the colored, if they have kids voting and yelling, the colored smoke's going to win hands down.
Oh, yeah, but the kids like that.
Yeah, the kids are going to go.
The younger generation was like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's
definitely.
And I don't know if it's a solid, to me, it seems like that some of the colored tires just blow smoke better than some of the older ones, with blowing white smoke, because I don't know if it's a softer compound or if it's something they've done to make it purposely do that, but it's cool.
Something in the compound. It is very cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, just the sound of horsepower. What do you do?
Yeah. Yeah. So we are on item number 7. We're going to take a look at a 1986 Camaro, and this is for sale by our friends over at MGM Classic Cars. Let me pull up that footage and let's take a look.
Hey everybody, Earl here, coming to you from MGM Classic Cars in Addison, Illinois. MGMClassicCars.com. Check out this 1986 original Chevrolet Camaro IROC Z with T-tops. That's right, powered by a 5.0-liter V8, 59,000 original miles, automatic 4-speed transmission. All original car here. We're gonna get down and dirty on this baby. Now that's the iconic 80s muscle car. Body straight. Tune port injected. It's got the covers for the T-tops. Nice little tinted glass. Sitting on the 16-inch original rims. Great look. Being that it's pretty much original, you're going to get a couple chips and dents here. I'm going to go through them, but the car is in real good shape. Never any accidents. Clean Carfax. Hood lines up straight. Showing me it's never been in a fight. Front is in good shape. You got one tiny little chip here on the bottom. A few by the lights. It's a California car. Clean underneath. A couple touch-ups that have been done already, touched up in here over the years. Lower fairing's good. Door lines up the way it should. It's all factory. To the quarter panel, good. All your glass is in good shape. Everything's working the way it should. All your lights, turn signals, brake lights. Nice feature, T-tops. And those are lockable. All your glass is good. All around the car with no stories. Got a couple little touch-ups here. I get off, you can barely see it, but it's there. Rear bumper's in good shape. Rear glass. Car drives just the way it should. Took it out, no funky noises. Handles good, brakes well. Plenty of power. Rear quarter seems okay. Tiny little spot here. Another one on the bottom of the fairing. Just some minor touch-ups and stuff. Take a look inside. All your seat belts are intact. Back seat's in good shape. Power seat, tilt, cruise, power windows, power locks, power mirrors, fully loaded. Carpet's in good shape, all your weather stripping's there. Everything works, air conditioning, radio. 59,437 miles. Real good investments. Check out the trunk. It's an automatic pull down as well. Those are for your T-top covers. Nicely done from factory. Got your pull-out shade. Cover everything up and back. Let's check out the engine. Port fuel injected. Here we go. Real clean underneath. Let's fire it up.
Yeah, so thank you to our friends at MGM Classic Cars for a look at that amazing Camaro. We also have Daisy Lou, our mascot, on here to help us close out the show. What do you guys think of that Camaro?
Those were absolute light killers with a 5-speed.
Yeah. For sure.
And another car with low miles.
Yeah, they always have excellent inventory, both at MGM and at B&B. And there are links in the description to both of their websites and Facebook pages if you're curious about either of those cars that we looked at tonight. Before we close out the program, we have to do some quick shout-outs, and we've got a couple of quick things we're going to do before we finish the program. But I'll catch you guys on the other side in about 1 minute. It's time for a quick shout-out to some of our friends. B&B Auto Sales, your muscle car connection in Brookings, South Dakota. Above the Notch Car Club, a car club for auto enthusiasts in northern New Hampshire. The New Hampshire Muscle Car Club, the largest muscle car club in all of New England. MGM Classic Cars in Addison, Illinois. Visit mgmclassiccars.com today. Beach Hill Automotive in Bethlehem, New Hampshire, specializing in the repair, service, and towing of muscle cars and classic cars. Absolute Auto Body and Collision Repair in St. Johnsbury, Vermont. And lastly, I am your independent AMSOIL dealer. Click the link in the description for your free AMSOIL catalog. And last but not least, if you decide to advertise with the Muscle Car Podcast, this could be part of your advertising message. Cool. So we are back. Now we have just a few quick minutes left, but quickly, Chris, I'm going to pop a few things on the screen. If you could tell us real quickly about them. I know you're associated with the Novitaz podcast. Can you tell us real quick about that?
Yeah, Sean's a friend of mine, another Firebird enthusiast. He's done his Novitaz YouTube channel. So I'm not even sure when he started, but I do the show with him. Now, like I said, it was an easy way to do a show, kill some miles, and just hang out and talk. But we do the live stream Saturday nights at 9, like you have there. And it's just a general, a bunch of guys, girl, whatever, you get together. We have the live stream chat where you can actually chat with people that are viewing the show and interact. And it's basically just a bunch of people, car enthusiasts to get together and sit around the garage chatting, more or less. But different people, Katarina's Garage on YouTube. She comes in the show a lot on the live side of it. It's just a group of friends get together, chit chat, and talk about cars, current cars, current videos, stuff we may have seen out there. And
Nice.
I've probably done the show about a year and a half now. I'm usually in every week. It depends what I have going on or where I'm at.
Yeah, it's a great podcast, and there is a link in the description for anyone who'd like to check it out. I check it out pretty regular. And then real quick, some comments about this.
Yes, this is my friend Michael Tobash. Facebook, Street Legal Oval Track Car Builds, Street Legal Oval Track Cars. This is an old, what they call a super modified. It's a 1969 chassis that he ended up picking up. He used to race sprint cars around Pennsylvania and around. He's done 2 full time periods with 2 branches of the military. With it. So he's raced, all over the country and around the world at different places that he was stationed at.
Nice.
When he retired from the service, he ended up finding this car that in Washington State. It was street legal, and he made it as a street legal sprint car. This is the current configuration, and he takes it to different tracks. He'll push sprint cars off. He's traveled the country with it. He does parades. It is street legal and licensed as a home built hot rod.
Oh,
So he drives it up from his home state. Hey, honey, I'm going to go to the store to get a gallon of milk. He doesn't take the pickup. If it's a good day out, this is what he drives.
nice.
So he's got videos that he's done. He has a YouTube channel as well, although I'm not exactly 100% sure of the name of it is, but it's his retirement toy. He'll goes to different tracks, push out cars. He does parades, car shows, just cruise around with it. He's actually helped another guy up in Washington. They built a 2-seat. It's a sprint car, but it has 2 back-to-back seats. One behind the other, like you ride a motorcycle that is street legal. And then his Facebook group, there are several around the country. From dirt late models, sprint cars, open wheel modifieds, Indy cars. There's a guy that he has street legal. Okay, you want to impress the kids at the prom? You want to impress the wedding party? A guy took old Indy race cars and built a limousine. So you have back to back, like 10 to 15 seat Indy car, race car, limousine, open air that you can rent. And
That's
there's
an
just
experience.
yeah, and there's just all over the country people that take an in, and that's what I'm planning on doing. I have a couple myself because I don't race anymore, so we're gonna turn it into a street legal project, and actually acquired a couple old NASCAR chassis last year that we're gonna do that with. Then probably do some kind of content on the YouTube channel. I sent you the pictures there earlier today of the one that we're probably gonna start with first.
Yeah. Now, Stacy and Art Fosler are saying they've always wanted to do an old vintage modified for the street. We get comments coming in. And I'll pop that on the screen, that image that you just told me about. I think it's this one.
Yes.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
And we do have to wrap it up. I apologize. We're way over on the time. But I wanted to thank you for coming on. Also, a quick announcement. Next week, the week of July 4th, we're going to be airing a rerun, but we'll be coming back the week after. I think that might be the 13th of July. Let me take a look at the calendar here. Yeah, so our next episode will be the 13th of July for anyone who's following this. We'll catch you at that time. And yeah, I'm going to roll the final graphic here. Any final thought, Rob, before we wrap it up?
That car, no headlights on it. How can it be street legal?
Good question.
Which one?
The first one.
The sprint car?
The race car. Yeah.
Yeah. He actually mounted headlights. There's a couple, and it all depends on how you do it. The headlights are actually mounted. You can't see it in the picture, that they're actually mounted down underneath the front wing on the side.
So he's got LED lights in it for headlights.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he did an LED or what he did for sure, but they're actually mounted underneath the front wing, right to the side of the push bar, the push bumper, and then he has an LED bar that is like it mounted on the back of the seat up in the back window, and yeah. So what is it? It's a super modified race body that's on. You know, most of it is the race body from the super modified when it was raced out on the West Coast years ago. And he just added the mounts in that data to make it look like a sprint car, because you notice it doesn't have the standard sprint car rear end to it. It has the fuel cell that's tucked in underneath, but they used like the old coupes and that from the 50s, like 40s and 50s, and the T-buckets, and like down in Texas and up in that area, they would take those bodies and they actually would narrow them in the center, so you had a little narrow body to fit over the roll cage and chassis that they built, which is where that evolved from.
That would be an eye catcher going down the road seeing one of those.
It is, yeah, and he actually let me drive it one, because I used to run to Seattle all the time. He lives just south of Seattle, down in Olympia, and there's a truck stop about 5 minutes from his house. And if I'd get up there on the run, and I'd have a night to kill, and we'd go hang out, go to dinner one night. Well, one night he'd come up with the car and like, oh wow, you're driving around. I said, nah, I figured you want to drive it. It was just, you want to drive it? Like, so I've actually driven it, from the truck stop, probably 2 miles down the road, down where his house is, and back up to the truck stop, and then pulled over in the fuel. And it's beyond it's muscle car times pick a number, because he has a GM crate motor, but he's pushing about 450 horse with a crate motor, with a 2-speed power glide automatic, in a car that weighs about 1,300 pounds maybe.
Wow, the power to weight.
So the power to weight ratio, and he's got it balanced and geared for the street. So I mean, you're not gonna stand the front end over on it. So, but when you get on it, it's there.
Sure.
And it will kick. In wet roads, you've got to watch, because it's just like a Firebird, or any of the other muscle cars. You have big long front end and nothing on the back. So you punch it on it, kind of wet roads, it will kick the rear end out and surprise you if you don't watch. But it's a neat little car. I mean, he's actually the one that got me to do the, you gotta garage your race cars that you're not doing no with, because you don't race no more. Once you do what I did, I'm like, well, what's that? Make it street legal. And then okay. Then I drove his, and as they say, the bug bit.
Yes. And it left a mark.
So it left a mark. I mean, I have about 3 different project ideas I'm doing. One of which is doing a street legal out of one of the old race cars that matches one of the current race cars, to be able to tow. We're going to take a street legal race car to tow the race car on an open trailer to the track.
Yeah.
That's wild. Well, cool. I do have to close the program.
Attention getting.
But Stacy and Art Fosler are saying have a good 4th, and back at you, and to everyone, on all of us, and to all of the viewers watching. And then, of course, David from Alaska Railroad says have a great evening to everyone. And yeah, I do have to close out the program, but thank you so much, Chris and Rob, for being on. And as always, we're going to give the last word to AMSOIL. We'll catch you all on the other side. Hello, everyone. This is Rob and Mike. How you doing today, Rob?
I'm doing good. Mike, yourself?
Very well. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it. Now, today, we're going to be talking about AMSOIL. And in a few moments, we're going to show you how you can get the deepest discounts, free shipping, and free gifts when you order your AMSOIL products through us. But first, I'm going to ask Rob to give you a quick description of what AMSOIL is and why you should consider using AMSOIL products in your motorized vehicles.
Thanks, Mike. AMSOIL is 100% synthetic oil. Everybody uses AMSOIL for a different reason. Some people like the benefits that AMSOIL is warranted for 25,000 miles or 1 year. The reason we can do that is because AMSOIL doesn't oxidize. It doesn't form the usual carbons, gums, sludges like petroleum oils do. That's why we can keep it in the engines longer. Petroleum oils never do wear out. They oxidize themselves. That's why they have to be changed at 3,000 kilometers. And AMSOIL likes the benefit that you only have to change the oil once a year. That saves some money. Some of the people like the benefit of AMSOIL is it's a slipperier type lube. By having a slipperier type lube, it cuts down friction and drag. By less friction and drag, engines run 20 to 50 degrees cooler, better gas mileage. Now, AMSOIL says 25% more protection than the industry requires is in the AMSOIL bottles. My average customer gets about 10% increase in gas mileage. That's a big savings.
Yeah.
And by cutting down friction and drag, for every 10 degrees you cut down the friction and drag, doubles the life of the engine. So by having the engine run cooler, it makes it last longer. Some people like the benefit of the range of the AMSOIL. AMSOIL's flash point is 425 degrees, and it pours at 50 below zero. Wow. If you ever try petroleum oil when it's 10 below, it turns to honey. And in the summertime, petroleum oil thins out, and once it thins out, that's when it starts breaking down. So AMSOIL is an all-season oil, can give you better gas mileage, longer engine life, less maintenance. It ends up being cheaper over a year's time running AMSOIL than it is petroleum oils.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And AMSOIL is available for pretty much any motorized vehicle, anything from lawn equipment, cars, trucks, boats, ATVs, motorcycles, snowmobiles.
Yep. And a lot of people phone me up and say, well, what's the benefit of our gear lube? Exactly what I told you about the engine oil. It pours in cold weather, it runs cooler, makes the equipment last longer. And they say, well, what's the benefit of the small engine? Same thing. Makes the engine run cooler, last longer, better performance. So it saves on all the applications that AMSOIL has available.
Wonderful, wonderful. So yeah, let's talk now. Hopefully this has convinced people to think about maybe joining us in the AMSOIL experience. Let's talk about some of the discounts and free shipping and how that all happens. I'm going to pop a graphic on the screen. And yeah, by all means, if you want to talk people through how this preferred customer program works.
AMSOIL has a number of different programs. One of our main ones is a catalog customer, where somebody can order directly out of our catalog. If they order out of the catalog, they order $100 worth, AMSOIL will ship it right to their house. But our best program is our preferred customer. For only $10 for 6 months, you become a preferred customer. You save 25% on all the product. You order $100 worth, they're going to give you free shipping. You don't have to order a whole case. You can mix and match. Say you want 4 bottles of small engine, 7 bottles of 5W30, and a couple of gear loops. You can mix and match. You can order 1 bottle at a time if you want. There's no minimums, no maximums. By being a preferred customer, you save over 25% on all the products you're going to buy. AMSOIL sends you extra gifts, $5 gift certificate on your birthday, $5 when you renew your account, and stuff like that. So it's a good way to save on some of the products you want to buy.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, it's an incredible value. And this is the deepest level of discount that anyone can get when ordering AMSOIL. Is that correct?
It is. It is.
Wonderful, wonderful. So let's take people through the step-by-step experience of placing an AMSOIL order. Then that would include signing up for the preferred customer preferred customer program, so they can receive those deepest levels of discount. So let's go to the website. This is what the website's going to look like. These are some screenshots. Once you go to amsoil.com, there's a link in the description, or you can just type that into a browser, amsoil.com. This is the page you land on. At the upper corner of the page there, you see how I've circled in red. That is the link to click, the Join Now link. That will take you to the Preferred Customer Program page, where you can take advantage of all of these discounts and free shipping and everything that we've just been talking about. This is what that page looks like. In the lower right, you're going to click Join Now. This will pop up. You select the duration you'd like, whether it's 6 months or 12 months, and click Add to Cart. Now, once this pop-up goes away, you'll be back on the main page. And the upper left, you'll see where I've got that red arrow. It says Shop. Now you can start shopping for products, and on your very first order, you're going to get these discounts and the free shipping as long as it's over $100. You'll get all of these benefits right away. So once you click Shop, it's going to take you to a product page. There's different types of oils, lubricants, so on and so forth. For the benefit of this exercise we're doing now, I'm just going to click motor oil. It shows different types of motor oil. Let's click gasoline. Now this takes us to an item. It's their synthetic motor oil. And you can see the item there, and there's choices for different viscosities. But take a look at the price. Let's take a closer look. Let's zoom in. But if you've joined the Preferred Customer Program first, you're going to automatically get the deepest levels of discount. That's what we're looking at here. You're saving $3.80 on that quart of oil. Instead of paying $16.29, you're now paying $12.49 for that quart of oil. That is the deepest level of discount you can possibly get. And then you just add the quantity that you'd like. You select any other items that you're thinking about, add them to the cart. And once you click Add to Cart for the final time, you're going to see this come up at the top of the screen. It's going to show your items and your the total that you're at so far. Pardon me. And then you just click View Cart in the upper right, and that'll take you to your cart. Take a close look here at the upper right. That blue box shows that you're getting free shipping. You're eligible for free shipping on this order because it's over $100. That little yellow box shows that you've got the preferred customer membership on your order that gives you the deepest levels of discounts for the next 6 to 12 months. And then below that, you've got the items that have been selected. For the exercise here, I selected 9 quarts of the Signature Series, but that brings us up over $100 for the free shipping. We're saving $34.20. And if you're ready to finish, you click Checkout Now, and that takes you to this screen here. If you haven't signed up with an AMSOIL account at this point, just click in the lower right to create an account, create a new account. It's going to ask you for some basic information, name, and those types of things. Now let's take a closer look. You'll see this gray shaded box. This is a very important box. This is going to ask you if someone has referred you to AMSOIL. And if so, please enter my name. My name is Mike LaPierre. It's spelled right there on the screen for the correct spelling. And also the referral number, 304-555-94. That's how you make sure that Rob and I get credit for this. Now, in the interest of full disclosure, I have signed up for AMSOIL under Rob. So when you order using this referral number, Rob and I both benefit. So if you enjoy these podcasts that we're doing, this is a wonderful way to support the podcast, because when you order using this referral number, Rob and I both benefit. And the commissions I make go directly toward offsetting the cost of doing these podcasts. So I thank you in advance for that, for using my referral number. I very much appreciate it. And once you've done that, you just go into the next screen to enter your payment information, and you're done. Now, once you've placed your order that's over $100, and that order includes your AMSOIL Preferred Customer Program, you are now eligible to get a free DVD from myself. Now, this is going to be either a muscle car DVD or a vintage snowmobile DVD. Use the email address on the screen, wkspodcasts@gmail.com. Send me an email. Let me know which DVD you would like me to send you, the muscle car or the vintage snowmobile DVD, and I'll get that right out to you. As you're typing in that email, in the subject line, be sure and type in capital letters, free DVD requests, so it stands out as I'm checking my email, and we'll get that right out to you. So I guess the last thing, Rob, that we wanted to talk about is if someone is considering AMSOIL as a business opportunity.
Yes. If anybody has a retail or a commercial account and they would like to buy directly from AMSOIL, just send Mike a line. He'll show you how to set up, and you can buy directly from AMSOIL. But if you are interested in starting your own part-time business, a part-time business that can grow into a full-time income, Mike and I will show you the AMSOIL marketing plan. AMSOIL has a large selection of products that cover almost every application. So it doesn't matter if you're into snowmobile, boating, or ATVing, or hot rods, we have an oil for every application. It's a fun type business that's I really enjoy doing. Where else can I go and have fun and make money doing it? And Mike and I are here to help you all the way along. If you need any help on how to promote or to find new accounts, we're here to help you.
For sure. So when you sign up under that number, this 304-555-94, you're getting Rob and I as a team. Now, Rob has been doing AMSOIL for 40 years. Can you believe that? 40 years. So he knows every aspect of this business, and he knows all of the ins and outs of the products. So he'll be able to help you with any kind of product questions or any kind of questions to show you the different business models that you can do with AMSOIL. And then the other thing that you get when you sign up under me is I've got a strong background in social media. So if you need some coaching on how to generate AMSOIL leads using Facebook and YouTube, I'm happy to coach you with that when you sign up under Rob and I. You get both of us as a team to help you, to coach you, to support you, whatever you need to get you off and running with this business and having fun with it. Like Rob said, it's an enormous amount of fun. If you're like Rob and I and you enjoy going to any kind of boat shows, car shows, motorcycle shows, snowmobile shows, anything with a motor, you like going to those shows, those events, those races, this is a great way to turn that into a income opportunity for you.
Yes. And just by wearing my AMSOIL hat at one of these events, people come up and ask me about AMSOIL. People don't know where to buy it, and I'm there to help them, show them where they can buy the product.
Perfect. Well, cool. Well, this is great. Any final thoughts, Rob, before we wrap it up?
AMSOIL is a fun business. AMSOIL has been around since 1968. It was the first synthetic oil to be AI approved.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And that's very early in the game too, isn't it?
Yes.
For sure. Well, good. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for viewing. Hopefully, we've gotten you excited as we are about the AMSOIL products. We'd love it if you could join us either as someone who uses the AMSOIL products or to join the AMSOIL team as a business opportunity. And we thank you so much for viewing. Have a great day.
You have a good day.